Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to another video. Today, well, it's been a long time, hasn't it? Hopefully, you guys are doing well. So, yes, as you can read by the title, today's gonna be probably the best video that I've ever created on this channel. And I don't mean that as like a, oh, look at me. No, like genuinely, I genuinely believe this might be the best video I've ever created on this channel. And the reason why I decided to create this video is for a couple of reasons. Number one, so many people are asking me, Mahi, how do I become productive? Because if you guys don't know, I stream sometimes on this channel. I don't upload much on this channel, but I do stream sometimes. So many people are asking me like, oh Mahi, how do I become productive and stuff like that. And so I'm like, you know what, this might be a good topic to talk about. Number two, I am sick and tired. Like, I'm being genuine here, but I am sick and tired of seeing us Muslims in such a slump. Like, genuinely, it pisses me off every single. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean to get rude, but it pisses me off every single time I see us Muslims. Like, why are we just lying in our beds? Like, oh my goodness, bro. Like, it's sometimes it really pisses me off because all I see is like, Mahi, how do I stop being productive? How do I start productive? How do I stop controlling my desires? How do I like? And it's just we're just scrolling all day. What are we doing, guys? We're watching content all day. We're scrolling all day. We're just passive. Like, I'm so like, why? Why can't we just do something with our life and do something? Like, why? I'm sorry. I'm just getting so pissed off. But the number one thing in this ummah that we're missing, I feel like, is like trust in Allah. Obviously, have tawakkul on Allah. But it's also just like we don't just do anything. We're just kind of sitting there like after, you know, when you eat after Ramadan, after iftar, you have a bunch of samosas and stuff like that, and you're just kind of like, alright, it's so much food. Like we're sort of like that the entire day nowadays. Well, one of the brothers told me that the Muslim brothers don't go to the gym. Us Muslim brothers don't go to the gym. We don't get bigger, we don't get stronger, we don't get more attractive for our wives and stuff like that, for ourselves. Why? We have like embedded every single part of mediocrity into this ummah. Every single bit of mediocrity, we have just ate all of it. Oh my god. I'm sorry I'm pissed off. I'm sorry I went on a 2-minute rant, but I feel like I needed to get this out of my chest because this is one of the reasons why I'm making this video. Genuinely one of the biggest reasons why I'm making this video, because I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired. So in this video, I'm literally going to give you everything. Wallahi, I'm going to give you everything I freaking learned about productivity. Not just learn, but everything that I've implemented about productivity. Because I'm tired of seeing thousands of videos of like 5 a.m. Muslim routine and like it's just like productivity BS. It's all fake. It's like motivation type thing. How many videos have you watched? 5 a.m. Muslim routine. Our sisters do this a lot, right? All the sisters that are watching this, you're gonna start smiling. 5 a.m. Muslim routine, tahajjud, fajr prayer, like mashallah, Allahumma barik. May Allah bless you all sisters and the brothers. But it's time to get to work. It's time to attack the demons. It's time to attack the shaitan that's whispering. It's time to attack your brain. You're gonna have to overcome your weak nafs and you're gonna have to push past. And this guide will literally teach you that. If you have a low attention span, this is the best time to train it because you're gonna have to go through this. This is gonna be a tough but good video and very beneficial video. But I'm gonna make sure that I make you get out of your butt, get out of your desk, get out of your chair, get out of your bed, get out of your sofa, get out of your comfort zone. And I'm gonna make sure that I can actually place like a mark in your mind. I wanna make sure that I've at least made you do something in this video. So if you're excited, but also like, what the Mahi's on smoke in this video. Mahi never talks like this. I'm sick and tired. And so this is gonna be an insane video. I'm gonna talk about different parts of productivity, everything that I've learned, from how to prime your brain to then how to actually do the work. And then we can talk about stuff such as how to set up your schedule or how to do that, and also how to set up your environment. But we're gonna be mostly focusing on why you can't work in the first place. This is gonna be the 80-20. This is gonna be, you see this book? Oh frick, I dropped my glasses. You see this book? 80-20. We're gonna be talking about the 80% of the reason why you can't sit down and work. And that's not because you have too much schoolwork. That's not because of scrolling even. It's not because of any of that. It's because of a few root issues that we're gonna cover. Hopefully you guys are excited. I'm done. I know this is a very long intro. I love you guys so much for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. And hopefully I get like hasanat for this video, bro. So let's get to it, bro. Let's get to it. All right, alhamdulillah, bro. I'm back. I've just did like a long session just trying to figure everything out so I can make it beneficial for every single one of you, okay? So guys, let's get into this. I want you to please, like, I spent so much time on this because I genuinely want to fix this problem because it keeps annoying me. So I want you to give a little bit of effort. Is that possible? Everyone right now say, لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير. Okay, everyone say that right now. Why? Because all the power, all the ability comes from the most able, the one who's capable of doing anything. Al-Qadir, Allah Azza wa Jal, right? So I want you to say this right now. But when you say this, when you say that power comes from Allah Azza wa Jal, right? Because we believe that, we have to now move forward with it. We have to move forward with it and try. Don't make the excuses of this video is way too long, because at the end of the day, it's for your benefit. So why complain? How come we don't complain when we go to watch a movie, guys? How come when there's a movie or your favorite TV show, we're just like, oh, it's not that long, it's only 3 hours. You know how many people watched the Marvel Endgame movie? Remember, I never watched that movie still. It's been years. I never watched it. And people weren't complaining how long it was. They're like, oh, it's 3 hours, okay. Sounds like a great weekend to me. This is better than that. This is your future on the line, all right? All right, let's go. Let's get into work. Let's talk about the first thing. I want you to realize and I want you to understand and change. This is the first part, is by far the most important part. So if you're gonna watch any part, and you can take breaks, okay? I don't recommend you watching the entire thing unless you have the time for it. But break it into parts and watch it with the parts. The first part is by far the most important, which is why I put this here. The first part is understanding why are you not doing the work in the first place. This is the part which I get the most pissed off about, and this is the part that I really want everyone to fix. If we can fix this part, your productivity will be 80% better. So imagine your level as 100%. Okay? Right now you might be at a 10%, 20%, but you'll get to 80% if you fix this issue. If not 80%, let's just say 60%. Do you know the difference between 20% productivity to 60% productivity? That's a night and day difference. Don't never underestimate increases in your growth. Even if you have 5% increase, it would be a lot. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about what is the big reason why we have a hard time working. Why do we keep watching productivity videos online and we don't take action on it? How come that we cannot sit down and get to our desk and work? Because I noticed this. Back when I was down bad, you guys know my story. Or for example, my friends, I'm not gonna lie, like we have a hard time doing the most basic of tasks. That's the world and the situation that us young people have gotten into. Like I remember I ran a school community like a while ago, like back in the summer of last year or around that time. And I remember like we were doing challenges together, you know, like, oh, work for this many hours of the day, this. Without trying to be rude, but most of the people found it hard to do the most basics of things. Some people did stay consistent and some people did do like the work. Some people did study and stuff like that. That's great. But a lot of people found it so hard to do the most basics of tasks, like sitting at my desk and working for 30 minutes or 1 hour. They found that bit hard. So from that moment, I realized there's something much bigger than this, bro. This is not about your inability to sit down at your desk. The biggest issue that me and you, that alhamdulillah I've more or less fixed in my life, but a lot of us as Muslims have not fixed, is avoiding the work. So instead of asking yourself, why am I not productive? Ask yourself, why do you continuously avoid the work? If you fix this, and I'll help you fix this, I'll show you the way. But this is the 80% that you need to focus on. I wrote down what is leading up to us continuously sitting around, pretending like we're struggling, watching videos all day, watching TikTok all day. Why? Because we're avoiding the work and we can't take responsibility over our lives. It's these two big issues that if you fix, with the permission of Allah Azza wa Jal, if you fix these two, your productivity will increase. Avoiding the work and not taking responsibility over your life. Now we're gonna expand upon each thing, okay? Right now, you need to understand that your brain is not developed properly right now. And I'm not saying in terms of like your maturity levels, no. What I mean by your brain is not being developed properly is because Years of scrolling, years of instant gratification, because that's the world we live in, right? Years of all these things have made it so that your mind is not used to regular life anymore. You need constant stimulation. We need constant videos, video games, other habits. We need constant stimulation. It's as if we're living in a world, which it is, which is like regular life, just existing, is very hard. That's the world we're living in right now. It's very difficult, and you know this yourself. So if years of all this constant stimulation that your mind is used to, your mind is genuinely so used to comfort that doing the work is actually very hard. That's why doing the work is so hard. It's not because you're scrolling. It's because your brain is used to comfort. All your brain does is it's used to you sitting at your desk scrolling. Whenever the work gets hard, you scroll. Whenever this comes up, you scroll. You watch videos online. You may say, oh, I'm watching Islamic videos. How much percentage of that have you applied? Are you watching Islamic videos just to run away from the actual work that's required? Your homework, your Quran studies. Do you feel like, oh, I'm being productive by watching Mahi online, but I'm actually not doing my work? Then you're not being productive, are you? This is the number one thing, which is if you're able to, please, like, listen to this. If you're able to just stop avoiding the work, this will fix most of your problem. Because you have to realize, point number 2, bad habits are nothing but a cope. I realized this upon talking to my friend Zaid the other day. You guys know Zaid, right? And Zaid was saying how, like, he was going through some issues with school, like we all do. And long story short, I told him, the reason why you're not studying is because you want to escape. It's because you're almost like a little child. When the work gets hard, you want to curl up into a ball. Oh my God, guys, the work is so hard. The work is so hard. I'm going to just quickly grab my phone or my iPad and start scrolling and playing games. Oh, I'm going to start eating food, junk food when the life is too hard. You're running away. These bad habits are only copes. They're coping. They're coping mechanisms for you just running away from the actual thing that's required for you to do. When the work becomes hard, you have something like an outlet. You have scrolling to go to. You have this to go to. That's why you scroll. The reason why you scroll and you play games or whatever, and that I used to do, the reason why we do that instead of doing the work is because we are still acting like little children who cannot just get through it. And then we wonder and we cry about why we're not working hard. We wonder and cry about why our grades are so bad. And then we cry about why we're so lazy and unfulfilled. It's not because a tooth fairy, astaghfirullah, came to your house and made you weak and lazy. It's because you have let yourself go. You literally let yourself go. You just told yourself, you know what? My name is so-and-so. I don't know, Ali or Abdullah, or my name is, or if your sister, like Fatima or something. I'm just gonna let myself go. Yeah, I don't care about my life anymore. This is what you're telling yourself subconsciously. You are in charge of your, like, doing the bad habits, by the way, if you didn't realize that. You choose to do the bad habit. You choose to run away from the work. The only reason why it feels like automatic right now, you know how sometimes bad habits feel automatic? The reason why is because that's all your brain knows. You choose and you chose to do the bad habits. Please understand that aspect. You are running away from the work. And these bad habits are a way to comfort yourself when the work gets hard. That's all it is. Imagine you walk out the house and there's a storm. There's a storm outside. And you have to get to a place. You have to get there. There's no option. You have to get there. And you have to walk through the storm. Maybe it's raining, it's thunderstorm, it's lightning. And you have to walk to this place. You may not want to walk. Obviously, there's a storm. It's going to be painful. It's going to be risky. It's going to be dangerous. But you have to get there by this time. Otherwise, like, imagine, you're going to go there. It's going to be painful. It's going to be difficult. But the moment you walk, the storm gets weaker and weaker and weaker. And all of a sudden, you know what? You're walking, you're like halfway there and the storm is gone and you're still walking. And you know, you get to your destination. Right now, there's a storm waiting outside for you. I know this doesn't sound it sounds helpful, but it doesn't sound, what do you call it, like happy, or, you know what I'm trying to say, like positive. It is positive. This is 100% positive. I'll explain why. There is a storm that's there that you have to get through. This storm is whenever life gets hard, instead of giving in to the bad habits, this is your opportunity to finally train your brain to becoming a new person. And in order to become the new person, you have to go through that storm. What is that storm? Imagine you're working on your homework, your university assignments, and it's due in a couple of days. And you don't really feel like doing this. You just feel like curling up into a ball and scrolling. That's what you feel like doing right now. Let me tell you, this is the golden opportunity. Right now, you can be like your old self, curling up into a ball, life is so hard, or you can finally walk into the storm. You can finally get through the work. You have to keep yourself accountable, keep yourself responsible. You have to literally hold responsibility over yourself that I can at least do the actions. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me, the ability to do my actions. I can at least do that instead of running away next time, into the bad habits, into the TikTok, into the scrolling, into the Instagram. This time you finally decide to just do the work that is required, and you get there and you get through it. It's hard, it's a storm, but you get through it. You don't want to go to the gym, but you get through it. And then at one point, this will become your regular journey. You will be a whole different person because you went through something hard. You see, scientifically, the way that Allah Azza wa Jalla made our brain is that it is designed to go through discomfort because that's how it grows. It's like when you get a disease, or you get a sickness or a flu, and your body is fighting off this flu that you have. Do you realize that scientifically, biologically, the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created it is so beautiful? Every single flu that you go through, your body literally gets stronger after each flu, right? Your body gets used to it. If you've been through C-19, the COVID, whatever, if you get it the second time, your body will be more used to it compared to the first time. That's how the body works. That's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made us. Allahu Akbar. So right now there is a storm that you're avoiding, that you need to walk through. And this is the first step. You have to walk through it. The discomfort. And it's beautiful. I'm smiling because this is your moment. Like, I remember 3 years ago when I did it for the first time. 3 years ago, I can maybe put some pictures up here. When I started my self-improvement journey and I started to really focus on going to the gym. I remember this one time, you see, I'm not super small, right? Like, I have muscle. Do you realize I have muscle with the permission of Allah Azza wa Jalla, that He gave me the tawfiq, but it's not just the fact that I have muscle. It's also because I have to thank myself 3 years ago. 3 years ago, there was a snowstorm outside, and I didn't go to the gym. This was around February or January of 2023, so exactly 3 years ago. And there was a snowstorm outside. It was like 9 p.m., very cold outside, literally a snowstorm. And I didn't go to the gym that day because I didn't have the car. And then I realized I didn't go to the gym. Do I go? Do I not go? Do I just stay home? I mean, typically it would be normal to stay home, right? But I told myself, no, I have to go. This is my opportunity. This is my opportunity to see a different version of me. And I literally went outside, knowing that with the permission of Allah Azza wa Jal, I went outside knowing that I'm going to be explaining this story in a couple of years to other people. I went outside despite it being 9 p.m., winter storm, snowstorm. I walked to the gym and I walked back. Late at night. It was painful. It was difficult, but I was smiling the entire way. I wasn't smiling because it felt good. I was smiling because I was finally growing. When your life gets so bad, the only good thing is just to grow and go through discomfort. Because it's like, how much worse can it get? Like, what do I have to lose? Like, what do I have to lose to go through discomfort? When your life is down here, anything is just anything is a little bit up, if that makes sense. Like, doing any good task will feel good. Because my life is already down here. So all I had to do is improve. And that felt amazing, bro. Again, it was painful. But I didn't give in. So the solution, the way you can finally do this, is adopt this mindset. I wrote it down here, which is, imagine you're with 50 other people. So you're the 50th person. There's 49 other people. And you go to a desert and you become lost. And you have no food, no water. Difficult situation, obviously, right? Now let's just use common sense here. Most people would end up dying, right? Again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses who dies and who doesn't. But most people, let's just use this in a story format. It's not real, right? So most people would end up dying, right? Obviously. And there's a few people that will survive. Allah let them survive. But there's also, typically, the people who do end up surviving, they have something different about them as well, right? These are the people who will just not give up. They will try different ways. These are what you call proactive individuals. Being proactive is always focusing on what you can control and doing something about it. Proactivity and doing is like one thing. It comes hand in hand. When you are proactive, you're doing something about it. Being reactive is you're letting something else do something to you. Emotions change you. Situations change you. Circumstances change you. So most people would end up being reactive because a lot of us in the society that we're living in are reactive individuals, because we're like, oh, it's because of so-and-so, it's because of this teacher, it's because of this, that's why I'm failing my test. Well, the proactive individuals, sure, the teacher might be bad, sure, this might be bad, but he does what he can, or she does what she can. So the people who end up surviving in the desert with the permission of Allah, we gotta say this because Allah is the one who chooses, but some of them, most of them that will end up surviving, the ones that do, they typically have different traits about them. They don't give up. They're proactive. They try to make the most. They're like the leaders, you know. Imagine all like the weaklings that are like around like the leaders. Even though they're both going through the same difficulty and trial, there are some people who just choose to stand up. And you know what? The beauty of this is that you have the power to do that. I have the power to do that. It's not like something you're born with. This is something that we need to understand, is that you're not always born with things in life. Just because you're not, like, you haven't seen yourself work hard, that doesn't mean that you are destined to be a lazy person. You can work hard too. It just requires skill and it requires going through the storm. You understand? So this is the first part done. I really want to put emphasis on this part because you have to realize, number one, the reason why you cannot work hard is because you're running away from the work, and you cannot take, and you're not taking responsibility over your life, and you're running away, which is why you're taking responsibility. You're not taking responsibility. If you continuously scroll because you chose to scroll, how many times can you hold yourself up? Now, here is the hardest thing. When you do hold yourself up, when you do decide, I'm not gonna scroll, what happens? The storm comes in. The moment you say, I'm gonna choose to not scroll, that's when the storm is going to come. You remember the storm we talked about? That's when it's gonna come. And that's when you have to walk through it. Let's not avoid this thing, bro. This is number one. The way to fix this is just, and this is your actionable step, okay? Make sure you write this down if you can, which is accept that you're not in the best of places right now. Accept that your brain is fried. Accept that all your brain knows is just cope. Accept that you've been coping for all these years. Accept it. Accept that all your brain knows is how to be lazy a little bit. Just accept this thing. Accept it. It's fine. You all start somewhere, but accept that right now, because of the years of instant gratification that I've been doing, I'm not able to work hard because I've been just used to easy, quick pleasures. Accept that. Accept it. Because the moment you accept it, then you can understand that this is not, you're not born with it. That's the beautiful thing, is that you're not born with these things. It's just years and years and years of repetitive doings, which is now what your brain has turned into. So the reason why you try something like a self-improvement habit, but then you end up stopping it or something, is because of something called homeostasis. Okay, so if you can try writing this down. Homeostasis. All that pretty much is pretty much your comfort zone. There's something called cognitive homeostasis. It's just your comfort zone. All that pretty much means is that when you try to change something, the homeostasis, what it does is it tries to keep everything balanced in your brain. Okay, it tries to keep everything balanced. The moment that you change something about your behavior or your action and you go down a different path, your brain will ring alarm bells, and it's like, it'll literally have alarms like, oh my God, what's happening? We're dying, we're dying, we're dying. It does it for survival. So let's just say right now you've never been someone who goes to the gym. You never exerted physical effort. But then all of a sudden you decide to go to the gym. Your brain will literally have alarm bells ringing inside of its head thinking, what's happening? Why is, Ali, or why is Ahmed, or why is Muhammad, or why is Fatima like doing this? Why are they doing this? And then your brain starts sending signals because it wants you to come back. So your brain starts sending signals such as confirmation bias. Your brain starts sending you urges. It starts sending you bad habits to make sure that you're still the same person. So imagine if you're someone who stopped using Instagram, right? And you go on with your day, your brain will have these alarm bells. So your brain will try to literally give you urges. Shaitan really plays around with this. Shaitan really uses this part of your brain to make you go back to bad habits. Your brain will give you urges. Your brain will give you like ways for you to get back to Instagram. It will try its hardest to make sure that you get back to Instagram because it's trying to survive. Do you understand what's happening here? So it's not like you're gonna be destined. It's not like Qadr of Allah. Oh, I'm just born so I can scroll on Instagram. No, it's not like that. It's just your brain is trying to make you come back to its default position, right? It tries something called mimicking the past. So pretty much it does always try to mimic what you've already done from the past. So if you are someone who, when the work gets hard, you start scrolling on Instagram, next time when the work gets hard, your brain will try to make you scroll on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube videos. Because mimicking the past is like, it just does what it's always done in the past. The idea is, the ways we can change this, your homeostasis, your comfort zone, the way we can change it is by doing repetitive behaviors. Repetitive behaviors that choose a different homeostasis, a different lifestyle. You have to continuously train and tell your brain, command your brain, no. We don't have to cope. We don't have to scroll. We can sit through the work. We can finish the work. It's continuous training. The reason why I made you accept the fact that right now your brain, is kind of cuckoo, is kind of broken right now, that's fine. I was like that too. The reason why I made you accept it is because now you understand, okay, like I clearly have a problem to fix and I clearly have to go back and forth with my brain. It's like a little bit of tug and war, but eventually the more you take responsibility over your life, the more you realize that, okay, I make the decisions of my life, right? Like I choose to go scroll, or I choose to watch an Islamic lecture. I choose to do haram habits, such as pornography, or I choose to not do that. When you realize that, it's not really a fight anymore. It's more like you're telling your brain, no brain, change your focus, come towards this direction. It's like you're guiding your brain with the permission of Allah Azza wa Jal. Do you understand what this means now? It's like you're almost changing the course of your brain. So if your brain's always been doing Instagram, you change the course. And you say, no, that's not how we do things anymore, brain. Come this way. Now, here's one thing I really want to preface. Or not to preface, but to tell you. You may be given all this information that I'm telling you, but you may give up after a couple of days. You may just be like, oh, what Mahi's saying is too much. Like, I'm just, And what I want to tell you about that is that means that you are still reactive. That means that you still haven't taken responsibility over your life. That means you want to again go up and curl up into a ball, like that. That means that you're still acting like a weakling. You're still acting like a child. The only reason why you would want to give up is because it's too painful, but that's the point. That's the point. See, my job on this guide and this channel is to help you fix the root issue of your problem, not to butter you up, not to make you feel motivated and then not do anything after a couple of days. I want you to fix the actual problem of your life. And you know what that is? That is going through the thing that you're avoiding. But then the moment you go through that, and it doesn't take much long. It doesn't take long. The moment you keep telling your brain, this is the way, maybe honestly in 2 to 3 weeks, you may see a lot of benefit, a lot of good results. But it's just the pain that comes with that. But I want you to say this right now, in front of me, in front of Allah's watching us, make this vow. At least say to Allah, oh Allah, I'm going to do this for you. Please make me a better version. But just walk it. Walk through the pain. It is what it is. It is what it is. And walk through it. And it's only good. It's only good. And you know what? Sometimes when you're so fed up with who you are, again, as I mentioned, you have nothing better to do but go through the pain. Like there's nothing that's better. Like when you're so tired of just, like, how many more video games do I play? How many more times do I start coping? How many more times do I scroll? There's nothing purposeful here. At least you have something, which is going through the pain. For me, that was my thing. Like, at least I have that, So yeah. So chapter 1 is finally done. We spoke about a lot of things. The reason why, again, I spent the most amount of time on this chapter is because this is by far the most important chapter. And if you're going to take something from this video, is you take this part of the video. So what did we talk about? Let's do a summary of chapter 1. We talked about how you're avoiding the work and you're not taking responsibility and you're just running away. You're coping. And the bad habits like scrolling, TikTok, all this stuff are just coping mechanisms. They're just you running away. It's like, imagine you have work to do, but you're like, I don't want to do the work. So you kind of just go on your iPad or your phone and you start scrolling. That's you still being like a child. You're still acting like a little child. You're still going to mama and daddy or mama and papa or baba and ummi to do the bad habits. Like, in a way, like this, like the iPad could be like your way of like going back to your safe zone. And I told you that the way to finally change that and the way to become productive is to go through the storm. Is to take the responsibility anyway. Because how many more times, And the fact that you have the power of action. You have the power of action. You can choose. Yeah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the power of action. That's the free will that we have, the limited free will that us Muslims have as humans have. It's the ability to do the action, to choose the right thing right now with the power and the qadr of Allah Azza wa Jal. You ask Allah, oh Allah, give me the ability, give me tawfiq, and you move towards it. Just to say one more thing, homeostasis, remember the comfort zone. This is a very freeing thing because, okay, once you realize, okay, this is just what my brain is used to. So I have to change what my brain is used to. And I have to make it used to that, which is going to require some difficulty. It's going to require you to continuously do the habits. Maybe it doesn't feel that good, but it's going to require you to keep going. But then soon enough, your brain will be used to that. Like when I tell you right now that going to the gym, and I don't mean this to boast, but going to the gym, it feels automatic for me. I finish my work. I eat my pre-workout, not breakfast, but my pre-workout meal. So the workout I do it right after. I eat my pre-workout meal, I take my supplements, I wear my jacket, take the car keys, drive to the gym, come back. Like it's automatic. So it will become a point in time when your brain is like, no, this is your comfort zone. And that's the beautiful thing is that Allah gave us so much capacity that we don't know, that we are capable of so many things. The Al-Qadir, the most capable, gave us some capability, at least. That's a beautiful thing. All you have to do is just have your brain used to harder and harder things. So, all right, chapter 1 finished. Let's move on to the second chapter. So before I actually move on to the second chapter, I just want to say something. I learned yesterday. I'm watching the 99 Names of Allah by Ustad Hisham Abu Yusuf. Hafizullah, may Allah bless him. He's literally my most favorite Ustad. Like I love this guy, bro. May Allah bless him. And so I'm watching his 99 Names of Allah series, amazing series. And yesterday I learned about the name Al-Qadir, right? Allah's one of Allah's names, Al-Qadir. And I have to say this, I have to preface this, which is, us humans have a lot of capability that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. But at the end of the day, we have to trust that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you the capability in the first place, right? So this is why we say, for example, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. There is no power or capability except with the permission of Allah, right? In a way, right? La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. So I forgot the exact meaning of that. La hawla wa la quwwata. So there's no power and no strength except with Allah, right? And so, sorry, I didn't want to say something wrong, right? I forgot the exact meaning. But yeah, so we have to understand that it comes from Allah Azza wa Jal, power and ability. So we move towards this path, trusting in Allah and asking Allah to give us a tawfiq every single time, and then doing the work. So see, asking Allah for tawfiq and ability requires you to do the work anyway, by default. See, it's not just like, oh, Allah, give me power. No, it's not like that. You don't just say, oh, Allah, give me tawfiq. You know what I'm trying to say, right? I'm trying to make it dramatic, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's not like that. You have to do the actions. The work still must come. The storm is still there outside your door. So let's move towards it. Okay. Also, I want to talk about some common coping mechanisms that we use. Which is number one, you may be surprised, Islamic videos. Astaghfirullah. I am not saying Islamic videos are coping mechanisms, but they can be coping mechanisms because of this idea of like fake work / fake motivation. What that pretty much is a lot of us watch Islamic videos because we feel like we're productive and we feel like we feel productive. Oh yeah, I'm watching beneficial content. But how much of that have you applied? How much of that have you applied and yet you're still scrolling? I'm confused, right? You're still failing on your tests. You're still fat. You're still eating unhealthy junk food. So how much have you actually applied? So this goes for the same as like self-improvement content. Many people watch self-improvement content to feel productive, but they don't do anything to actually do the work. So Islamic videos are very beneficial, but I made it a rule for myself specifically is if I watch Islamic videos, I'll watch like one lecture and I'll actually try to apply that lecture. It will be part of my learning process. Now I'm gonna apply it to my day, every single day. So it's not something I just turn on the TV and just, oh yeah, that's a great video. I don't do that. I don't watch debates. I don't watch any of this because I realize like, bro, I'm not just gonna sit there and watch videos. I have stuff to do. I have my life to live. And we're gonna get to this in a later chapter about how to make sure that your day is proper and stuff like that. But I have to live my life, bro. I'm not here to be entertained. I'll watch my entertainment later on when I'm done my work and stuff like that if I have to. But other than that, bro, I'm like midday, like, oh yeah, let me just watch like a video. Like no, like I have stuff to do, right? So if you're gonna watch Islamic videos, Islamic content, make sure you're actually gonna be applying what you're learning. So I recommend, have 1 to 2 lectures you're gonna watch in a day, set a time for it, and we're gonna talk about how you can do that, and you'll be fine. Okay. Number 2, scrolling, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, whatever. Coping mechanisms. Another coping mechanism is junk food because it's comforting. Another coping mechanism is video games because it makes you feel like you're winning even though you're not winning in life. Trust me, because I used to have a lot of issues with video games as well, big issues. Number 5, pornography. It makes you feel like you did the ultimate goal of life, even though you don't have any girl or Fatima next to you. Astaghfirullah, but I'm just being honest here, right? Like you're just pretending. It's all fake. It's a coping mechanism. Number 6, talking with friends. Yeah, talking with friends to avoid the hard work. Imagine you spent your entire day with your friends. Okay, one thing, you planned it from a week. So imagine like for me, imagine I tell my friends, you know what, Zaid, Adnan, some of my close friends, Ali, next week we're gonna all hang out together the entire day. That's different to like, I have a lot of assignments, but I'm just talking with friends. Or I'm just hanging around with the friends. I'm going to the friends group chat. And like, what I'm trying to say? That's much different. And talking with friends to avoid the hard work. Checking messages. Yeah, another big thing. Checking messages. Again, same thing. You're avoiding the hard work. Number 8, overthinking. Yeah, overthinking. Because overthinking is a sign that you aren't even thinking properly. You know how? Because I am probably the biggest overthinker. I'm working on it. I'm getting better at it every single day. But I'm the king of overthinking. So if you're gonna come at me for overthinking, bro, trust me, I probably thought more than you overthinking. But it's just a sign that you're You aren't thinking properly, genuinely. When you're overthinking, you aren't thinking rationally. And when you're overthinking, you're sort of in an emotional state. The way to beat that is stop being emotional and start being rational. And it's difficult. Anything with life is difficult. Anything good in life is difficult. But overthinking could also be a coping mechanism because overthinking will lead to you not doing any of the habits. It'll lead to you being stuck and staying in one position, in one place. You're overthinking, how do I study? What do you mean, how do you study? You sit at your desk and you work on what you have to do. Like, what do you mean, how do you study? But we're going to talk about that, right? But yeah, so just before we move on to part 2, this is something I want to talk about.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. Today, I just wanted to talk to you about a few things that helped me kind of generate momentum and start getting things done. Now, I want to first address the reason why we can't get things done quickly. I want to kind of make this concise, but essentially, it's that we have so much information in our brains. We watch so many self-improvement videos, so many productivity hacks that we are overloaded with the amount of things that we need to do. So you walk into a shop of ice cream and there's like 50 flavors. You're going to spend a good few minutes just trying to narrow down your options, and just making a choice is going to be so hard. In that same way, in your mind, you probably have to do a cold shower, read, meditate, pray, do your azkar, everything. But the thing is, you might not be at a place where you can do all those things, and that's fine. I wasn't there. I don't think I'm there yet, but I have been doing something that really helped me for the past week, and that is to just do a few things per day consistently. I want to kind of break this down into a few steps. Now, the first step is to actually identify the goals that you want to complete, whether it's to get jacked or to be more productive, whatever it is. Make it kind of as specific as you can, find it out. And then step 2 would be to write down the specific steps you need to do to get to that goal. Don't worry about how long it's going to take, but just worry about what you need to do on a consistent basis, whether it's a daily basis or a weekly basis or a monthly basis, depending on your goals. But say, for example, somebody wants to get jacked, right? He wants to get big muscles and he wants to gain weight. A few of these steps might be like eating in a calorie surplus, eating more food, eating high in protein, making sure you're working out, 3, 4, 5 times a week, whatever it is. Then after you identify these, I want you to pick 2 or 3 things that you want to do consistently. So if you're watching this in the morning or in the middle of the day, I want you to write these down and complete them today. But if not, write them down for tomorrow to complete. So you write down like 2 things or 3 things. Like, for example, in my case, I'm doing a cut. So 3 things for me might be doing 10,000 steps, eating my calorie deficit, and working out. These are the 3 things. And I don't worry about anything else. Of course, I do my other stuff. But the most important things for me to complete today to get to my goals are these 3. And what you end up finding is that because it's only 2 or 3 steps, you actually tend to complete them. And if you don't, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. Tomorrow, you reset 2 or 3 goals. The idea is to not give up on yourself, right? So I just find that when you have these 2 or 3 things and you complete them day after day after day, then you start building momentum and trust in yourself. And once that starts happening, you can start feeling like you can actually keep your own word and your promises, and then you can slowly start adding more and more tasks to do. Now, the whole point of this is to make it easy on yourself and to kind of eliminate all the noise and information, like this overload of information in your head. So just keep things simple. Write down a few things you want to complete them. And if you find that you wrote too much for yourself, bring it down for the next day. There's no shame in that. There's only shame if you quit, So as long as you don't quit and you keep readjusting and you kind of find your groove, you will slowly build momentum and be able to achieve more and more.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Zaid. SubhanAllah, there's so much to talk about, but in brief, SubhanAllah, I was in a situation where my lack of discipline, my laziness, my lack of responsibility, it not ruined my life permanently, but it made life harder, and things started to pile up. Things started to, my responsibilities started to pile up. I had to do more work all of a sudden than I had before. I was procrastinating. Procrastinating is the worst thing imaginable. Honestly, do not procrastinate, no matter what. That's number 1. No procrastinating. And that led to me, suffering in school. Like, my grades weren't good. It affected my health as well, my physical health. I would get sick more often because my sleep was bad, my food was bad, I wasn't exercising, I was laying down all day scrolling. the lack of discipline, it's just the worst, right? And obviously I had friends around me, I had brothers, good brothers, who are already disciplined. They tried to get me, they advised me, obviously, they tried to get me to like get up and do something. And I would listen to them and I'd be like, yeah, you're right. I wouldn't change a thing. I would go back, I'd end the call, and I'd go back to what I was doing. And eventually, I kept this up for more than 6 months, and eventually it caught up to me recently. Recently, I hit like the all-time low. I noticed my sleep was horrible. I'd go to bed at 3 a.m., and I'd wake up at 3 p.m. Praying salah was all of a sudden much harder, right? My dhikr, my Quran, and all that harder. And my sleep wasn't good. And when you wake up too late in the day, you miss that window in the morning to get your work done, or during the day to get your work done. If you wake up at 3 p.m., you brush, you eat, it's already 4 p.m. and it's already the evening, it's already sunset outside. You're not gonna do any work, bro. So my sleep was bad, absolutely horrible, to the point where my own mother told me, like, you're going to bed whenever you want, you're waking up whenever you want. No, and you're 20 or you're young, you have energy, and you're more lazy than ever. And this hurt me, bro. Like, it hurt me because that was the reality. I needed a wake-up call. And so eventually, when I noticed everything going downhill, things reached an all-time low, and one day something in me switched, bro. One day I had enough, bro. It's too much shame. And for those of you watching this, you're gonna feel this. You're gonna feel the shame. Don't think you're gonna get away with this lack of discipline. You're gonna feel shame one day, and it's gonna come to you. At this age, we're not supposed to be lazy, bro. We're supposed to exert ourselves. We're supposed to sleep early, wake up early, use our 12 hours, 13, 14, 15 hours of the day wisely. We're not supposed to be scrolling on IG. We're not supposed to be lazy like rats just sitting around doing nothing. We have energy that won't last for very long, right? Like, your life is sa'atan min nahar, like it's literally a day. Your life is like not that fast. It's not that long, though. Before you know it, tomorrow you're gonna be in a grave. If you don't wake up, you will feel the pain of what you're doing later. You will feel it. It's a guarantee. I swear to you, you will. I swear to God. Sorry. So get up. That should be enough motivation for you. All it takes, you don't have to be a freaking self-improvement guru. All it takes is to make the right decision. One day, decide, okay, I'm gonna go to bed at 10, 11, and I'm gonna wake up at 7 or 8. Every single day, I'm gonna wake up at Fajr. I'm gonna start my day at Fajr. Start with that. That was the biggest game changer for me. Secondly, when you go to sleep and you wake up at the same time every day, you will have your day open up to you. So use those hours towards something productive. School, gym, any responsibilities that you have. And that's actually my third no. Your mindset should be, I'm not going to run away from my responsibilities. I'm going to do them, whether I like it or not. Because you have responsibilities that you won't necessarily be excited to do. But you still have to do them. You're a man, you're a woman, you're grown, you're 20 plus. Maybe some of you are in your early teens, but you get the point. You hit baligh, you hit the age of puberty, you're a man at this point. Your mom's not going to hold your hand anymore. None of that. But at the same time, I understand. I used to be in that position. It's very easy to be lazy. It's very easy to slack off. It's very easy to continue living like that. So it's going to be hard the first few days, but you have to be patient. Allah tells the Prophet ﷺ in every stage of his life to be patient. Every stage of his life. When he began, when he was a little bit seasoned, when he was experienced, still sabr, 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 sabr. So many verses in the Quran. فَاصْبِرْ إِنَّ وَعْدَ اللَّهِ حَقٌّ فَاصْبِرْ عَلَى مَا يَقُولُونَ فَاصْبِرْ لِحُكْمِ رَبِّكَ. So many. We can name so many. Patience. That's number 4. You need patience. It's not gonna be easy. But again, the life is not easy, bro. Like, just wake up, bro. That was a reality that I had to come to terms with. But it gets easier. You start somewhere, it gets easier. Bi'idhnillah ta'ala. That's all I have to say. This is honest advice from me. It's lived experience. I'm not telling you anything that I don't practice myself, inshallah. So if I do, it's from me and shaitan, and anything good that I have said, it's from Allah and His Messenger. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. And apply my advice. Assalamu alaikum.
All right, finally, part 2. Let's make your brain stronger. Finally, okay, so we're going to be talking about ways that you can finally make your brain stronger, because as we mentioned in the last part, that your brain right now is a little bit cuckoo, right? It's too used to instant gratification and all of this stuff, which is why scientifically, I'll just explain scientifically, your anterior mid-cingulate cortex is very weak. What that pretty much is that your ability, the part of your brain that it's full of willpower and discipline and stuff like that, it's very weak. It's not really like it's like, imagine you go to the gym and you're super skinny, not much strength and whatever, and then you try doing some exercises. Like, let's be honest here, like you're not going to be able to do a lot of good exercises. Like, you're not going to be able to pull a lot of weight, right? Can you go and bench press like 500 pounds? No, you're skinny. I can't bench press 500 pounds, right? But I'm just saying, if you're skinny, you can't bench press a lot of weight, or you can't curl a lot of weight, and that's fine. So right now, that's kind of where our willpower is. That's sort of where our brain is in terms of doing the hard work. It's just a beginner. It's a noob. Like, that's where it is right now. And it's good to accept it. Just accept it. It's fine. It's fine, right? So we're gonna work on ways to make your brain stronger, and we're gonna do this every single day. And so this is the second part. I'm gonna take a little bit of break, and I'm gonna get back to you. So I've been recording for 45 minutes, bro. All right, let's move on to the second chapter. It's called Making Your Brain Stronger. So we have realized that maybe your brain right now is not in the best position. As I mentioned earlier, it's like going to the gym, and right now you're just kind of the skinny person, and you need to slowly build it up so that you can become a more muscular person. Not like me, I'm kidding, more muscular than me, right? But you need to build it up so that you can slowly become stronger, your brain can expand, and your brain can withstand more stress. This is what you call the anterior mid-cingulate cortex. It's too like scientific. All that pretty much is, it's just your brain. It's your brain's ability to go through stress and to go through difficult situations. And the more you do it, the more you go through stress, the more your brain expands. That's the beautiful thing. I just had a call with two of my really good friends, right? And you might see them actually in this video. You might see like their parts in this video. If not, whatever. But they also talked about it. And one of my friends said, you know what, like I've been going through hell these past 3 days, 4 days, but now I feel like my brain's gotten stronger. I'm able to withstand more work. I'm able to stay more productive. It's because your brain will adapt. It's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made our brain. So how do we make your brain, or your brain, or our brains, how do we make it stronger? Number one thing is removing the things that make it weak in the first place. We do a million things every single day that make our brain weak. We've been, I don't know for how many years, but we've been genuinely destroying our brain for the past how many years, doing the same things that make our brain weak, right? The reason why you can't focus is from maybe the months and the years of scrolling. You know, when you scroll, you don't need me to explain this, but you know how it destroys your attention span. No one really explains how. I guess it's very basic, but the more you explain, the more easier it is to understand, right? So like, for example, when you're scrolling, you're going from one video to the other video to the other video, right? For you, that seems like, oh, it's just a regular thing, just normal. No, it's not. You're absolutely destroying your focus, because you're doing focus. What is the definition of focus? To do one thing, to focus on that in a way, right? To do one thing at a time, to focus on one task. This is the opposite. You're not focusing. You're just video after video, video after video, video after video. Your brain is used to that. So now when you try to focus, you can't, because your brain's not used to focusing on one task. Your brain gets tired too fast. It needs results quickly. Everything in a way is sort of works off of dopamine, right? So if your brain is used to quick dopamine, this one piece of dopamine, another one piece of dopamine, another one piece of dopamine. When you sit down to do your homework, all of a sudden, you don't get much dopamine from it until you finish your homework, which may take you hours, or which may take you 30, 40 minutes. It's a lot longer. So obviously your brain's like, what the heck, where's the dopamine? And it doesn't want to do it. You understand? So this is something that I need you to understand, which is we need to then slowly decrease the things that keep your brain in the first place. I'm going to break it up into like 3 things. Number 1, overstimulation. Number 2, delayed gratification. And number 3, overcoming pain and discomfort. So delayed gratification, overstimulation, and overcoming pain and discomfort. The way you can make your brain stronger single-handedly is through delayed gratification. If you can make your entire day or 80% of your day delayed gratification, and remember we talked about it, you have to keep training your brain. You have to keep telling your brain this is the way to do it. The more your brain will slowly learn and it will slowly adapt to doing delayed gratification activities. The more your brain will able to withstand hard work, and the more your brain is willing to sit through the work necessary and for it to get the dopamine, if that makes sense. The beauty of delayed gratification is that the amount of dopamine that is released, the amount of fulfillment, how good it feels after you finish something hard is unlike what any instant gratification could give you. You can eat all the junk food in the world, but after that you'll realize, like, sure, it tastes good in the moment, but after you realize how bad it is for you. After you realize that, why did I eat that? You feel slower, you feel more lethargic, you have more brain fog. The same thing with other habits. You may like scrolling, but then after 3 hours of scrolling, you're just sitting there, you're like, why am I doing that? Why did I scroll? I wasted 3 hours of doing nothing. I feel more tired, I feel more lethargic. I can't even focus even more. Delayed gratification is the opposite. You do something hard and painful, but then at the end, you get so much sakina, as we say in Islam, right? Tranquility. Allah sends sakina towards it. Allah says, "Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub." Allah says, indeed, with the remembrance of Allah, the hearts find ease, the hearts find rest. Why does Allah say that? Because to remember Allah, to do the ibadah, to pray, to do the hard work in Islamic terms, it's not easy. Fasting is not easy. Praying is not easy. None of this is really easy, but you do it and it gives you long-lasting results. It gives you long-lasting fulfillment. It makes you feel at ease, remembering Allah. If you're constantly distracted, can you really remember Allah? No. But if you decided to leave those distractions behind and you just sort of went to nature and you walked around, it's harder than just scrolling, right? But you get that deep fulfillment. So this is what you need. In order to make your brain stronger, we need to remove the things that make it weak in the first place. Things that make it weak is, for example, your attention span being destroyed. And number two, overstimulation. Right now you're overstimulated. And the only solution I found to overstimulation, speaking from my own experience, brother or sister, is that I just chose to live a life when I'm just not stimulating myself. Or I chose to live a life where I don't need to continuously stimulate myself with easy dopamine, with bad dopamine, with instant dopamine. I cut off the Instagram. I cut off the TikTok because I realized, like, this is the thing that's making me weak in the first place. So remember when I mentioned that these habits like TikTok and scrolling and all this junk food are just coping mechanisms? They're just coping mechanisms for you to run away from the work. That the key is, let's stop coping. Let's stop coping and let's move to a more delayed gratification lifestyle. Let's stop overstimulating ourselves. That's why you can't sit down and do the work, because you're overstimulated. When a drug addict is addicted to some drug that gives it this much high, if you give him a drug that gives him this much high, he's not gonna feel it. This is why, for example, many people need, like for example, for myself, I need continuous coffee, right? So 1 cup of coffee is not gonna give me that same buzz that like drinking like 3 cups of coffee will give me. I'm just gonna be honest with you, right? Or for example, when you play video games for 1 hour, when we were little children, video games were very fun. But now you can play for 5 hours and still feel boring. You need to play more hours. Because instant gratification, what it does is it pretty much like destroys your baseline. Without trying to go too deep and like scientific here, it just destroys your baseline. And so you can only function on the overstimulating activities. Imagine how sad that is. Imagine there's people in this world that need to scroll in the morning at 6 a.m. I see this on the bus, on the train all the time. I go on the train, it's like 7 a.m., I'm going to class, and I see other people beside me and they're scrolling at 7 a.m. in the morning. Why? Because if they didn't scroll, like, they would be weird. They'd be like, oh my God, like, they're not used to it. They need some level of stimulation. Even being on the train is not enough for them. This is concerning, bro. This is very concerning. And there's people like who live like that every single day. They need to overstimulate themselves every single day. Otherwise, functioning regularly is not enough. And this is why you have a lot of hard time doing the work, because your brain is not able to function regularly. Your brain requires more and more stimulation that the work is not giving. So I recommend delayed gratification. Let's do more delayed gratification activities, and I'll tell you exactly how to do that. Let's then move on to unstimulating your brain, doing the things that destroy your brain, doing the things that keep you sad and depressed. And the only way you can become happy is by doing TikTok or watching TikTok. Let's cut these things out. Let's cut off the overstimulation. Let's increase the delayed gratification in my day, 80% of the day. Let's increase the delayed gratification. And number 3, overcoming pain and discomfort. So this is normal. This is what you have to go through. It's going to be painful at the beginning, as we mentioned, for 30 minutes. It's going to be painful. But this is what you need. Overcoming pain and discomfort. This is the thing that you need. This is the thing that you have to go through. This is the storm that you have to go through in order for you to then start appreciating the small things. Your brain has to get used to it, and that's fine. Let it be used to it. It's okay to feel pain, because then you're going to get used to it as you keep doing it, okay? So this is pretty much how we can start making our brain stronger, and we're going to go into more specifics on how to actually do that, okay? All right, let's go. So hopefully you understood that. That's sort of how we improve our brain and make it more powerful by making it go through more powerful things. Humans become stronger with pain, right? We all become stronger with pain. So that story I gave you earlier, when my younger self decided to go into the snow at 10 p.m., right? Like, I didn't do that every single night, but just that one action with the permission of Allah allowed me to then realize, like, okay, I can go to the gym, whether it's a snowstorm or whether it's a sunny day outside, doesn't matter, but I can go to the gym. So I want you to answer this question, okay? Because this is a question that will allow you to make your brain stronger. Because at the end of the day, you have to realize, like, you have to make this the goal of your life. So right now, in the point of your life, maybe right now it's January, right? For this part, with the permission of Allah Azza wa Jal, for this part of 2026, maybe for the first couple of weeks, few months, maybe the entire year, I recommend it making as long as you possibly can. Your main goal is to make your brain as strong as possible. Because let me tell you right now, the more you make your brain strong, the more you can do things in your day-to-day. That's the beauty of it. The more you can make your brain strong, the more you can study. The more you can make your brain strong, the more you can go run, the more you can get bigger muscles. It's all about, really, with the permission of Allah, how strong your brain is. So if it's any ROI, any return on investment, any like thing that will give you amazing results with what you can do, it's making your brain strong. It's making your brain stronger. It's ability to withstand hard things. So in order to do that, we have to progressively overload your life. We have to add in sacrifice. We have to then make you start doing things which is uncomfortable, but which will then help you prime your brain and make it stronger. So I'll explain this in a very simple way. We all have baselines in life. We all have a certain standard. We all have a certain standard that we will not go down by. So for example, my basic standard is that I'm still gonna try to record some videos, or I'm still gonna go to the gym, or I'm still gonna eat as clean as I can. Like, it's gotten to that point now where that's my standard. Which means, like, maybe if I'm not even motivated, if I don't feel like, if I don't feel like doing the work or whatever, like the least, I'm trying to say the minimum, my floor is still doing some work, still waking up early, trying my best to, and still eating clean, and still trying to go to the gym. Like, that's my minimum now. And so the other minimum could be like, I'm still keeping my room clean. I still make my bed every single morning, right? For stuff like this, everything is a standard. So right now, your standard, if I'm guessing, if you're watching a video like this, is not that high, right? Which is fine, it's fine. Because we all started there. We have to start upping your standard. And we have to start moving you from the levels. So imagine when you start playing a video game, you start off as like level 1, which is like a rookie. Level 2, yeah, like a getting there. Level 3, like maybe amateur, or like level 4, semi-professional. Level 5, professional. Level 6, elite. Level 7, legendary. You know what I'm trying to say? All of these levels. Right now, in order for you to level up to rookie mode, level 1, it's doing the most level 1 basic activities, which is pretty much making your bed, keeping your room clean, washing the dishes on a consistent basis every single day. You're gonna be like, Mahi, really? Like, this is what's gonna help my productivity? And I'm telling you, yeah, this is what's gonna help your productivity, and this is what's gonna level your brain up. If you're not someone who's making their bed every single morning, yeah, I'm guessing you're 20 years old, 21, maybe 25, maybe even younger, 15. You're not a little kid anymore. You're able to do things in life. You have a developed enough brain. So I want you to go and make your bed right now. If you haven't made your bed, I want you to go and make sure your desk is clean. Not like once in a while, every day. Every morning when you wake up, you make your bed. That's your main foundation. You wake up and you make your bed. Now, for some of you, you're already doing this on a daily basis. This is like already something you already do. You're already level 1. Level 2, again, progressive overload. Progressive overload. We progressively make sure that your life gets a little bit harder so that you can get to the next level, right? It's like a video game again. The more higher levels you go, typically the harder the work is in the video game. Like the bigger, the more powerful, enemies you fight. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like that. So now when you go from one level to the other level, so for example, you go from level 1 to level 2, we're still doing the same thing, which is progressively overloading. It's the same thing with the gym. When I go to the gym, I start off with the lightest dumbbells, and then maybe when I'm consistent in the gym, I'm going consistently, then I can then improve and increase the dumbbells. So let's just say I start off with 10 pounds, which is very less. When I'm consistent in the gym, I've been going for 2 weeks straight, 3 weeks straight. I'm consistent. Then on the second or third week, I'm gonna increase the dumbbells to 15 or 12.5, and then to 15, and then to 17.5, and then to 20, and then 22.5, 25, 27.5, 30, and then 40, 50, 60, and then you improve your muscle, you increase your muscle, but you improve it gradually over time. You increase your difficulty over time. Your life will become harder, but you will become stronger. And the beauty is, your mind will become stronger. And you'll also be more fulfilled in life. You'll literally be more happier. Tell me this, do you think that I feel happy in my life? I've been recording for 2 hours straight, I think, or 1.5 hours straight. Do you think I feel happy? Yeah, I literally wouldn't be doing anything else right now. Obviously, right now my mouth hurts. I'm a little bit tired, whatever. But I know when I've recorded this insane guide that no one else is doing in this space as much, when I'm giving my most, like trying my best to give my best information to help people, do you not think I'm gonna feel happy? Do you not think I'm gonna feel fulfilled? Obviously I'm gonna feel fulfilled. Obviously I'm gonna feel happy. Obviously I've just done something which can, with the permission of Allah, give me real life rewards. It's like when you've studied, you're more likely to get the A+. You're doing something which is the real life, not the fake virtual world like a video game. So in a way, we move on to things. For example, right now, your main goal is to get rid of the things that's keeping you weak. If you're level 1, get rid of the TikTok, get rid of the Instagram, or at least get rid of the scrolling. Remove the instant gratification, and the delayed gratification is like, can I work for 30 minutes a day? Genuinely. It's, can I start making my bed? Can I wash my dishes every single time I use them? Can I wash my own laundries? This is something that I needed to do at 18 because I never did any of that at 18. I never made my bed. I never worked for 30 minutes. First thing first. I never did my laundry. My mom used to do my laundry. Astaghfirullah. I never washed my dishes. My mom used to wash the dishes. But now, washing the dishes specifically, like for me, like my future wife, inshallah, like may Allah bless her, but I don't know who she is, but whoever she is, you're probably watching this, huh? My future wife doesn't have to worry about it. Like if you're my future wife somehow, like if you're watching this right now, you don't have to worry about it. Like, because washing the dishes has become so automatic for me. Like every single time I use my dishes, like I eat from the plate and then I go to wash it. Like I don't just put it in the sink and then I'll say, oh, I'll wash it later. I literally, my brain's been wired at this point. It's become a habit, automatic. After I'm done eating, my brain will automatically just wash the dishes and put it in its place. So my future wife probably watching this, right? I don't know, whoever you are. Maybe Fatima, maybe Zainab, I don't know what's her name, but whatever it is, whoever it is, may Allah bless you. And you guys, you don't have to worry about that, I guess. So you're welcome. But yeah, so that's something my brain just automatically does, right? It's automatic. And you might be saying, well, how does that improve your discipline? Because you're doing things when you don't feel like doing. But by default, this is improving your discipline. You're doing things you don't feel like doing. And also, it trains your consistency. It It develops habits. You don't realize how small things take you so far. You don't realize the book. You don't know the book, Atomic Habits? The smallest things in life, when done on a repeated basis, often turn into the biggest things. Me recording a video every single day, even though it might seem small, will turn into the biggest thing. Smallest thing in life leads to the biggest things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran something along the lines of, I don't know, I'll put the verse on the screen, but you might have thought it was small, but for Allah it was adeem, it was great. Something along those lines, and I'll put the verse on the screen. But yeah, genuinely. So that's how you move from level 1 to level 2 to level 3 to level 4. It's by continuously making your life a little bit harder. And that's how you improve your brain. So level 1, again, remove the instant gratification. That's already hard enough. And typically you remove the instant gratification because you don't see a need anymore for it, right? Like you realize that it was a coping mechanism this entire time. So you don't want to cope anymore, do you? Do you want to cope? No. And you realize that, you know what, this pain is something I need to go through. So now you're inviting this pain to come to you. You're saying, you know what, I need to go through this pain. I will stand firm. I will stand straight when the storm comes. One of my friends said something when I was calling him like a couple of like 30 minutes ago, and he said most people give up when the storm comes, and then they're continuously in a cycle of going through the storm, getting out of the storm, going through the storm and getting out of the storm. The people who end up making it are the ones who get through the storm. Every single time the storm came to you, you disappeared. You gave up. You went to sleep. You went to bed. You went to comfort. But you have to realize the storm is what is needed for you to make it to the other side. So this time you're gonna invite the pain. This time you're gonna invite the storm because it is what's needed for you to get to the other side. Okay, so boom, we are done, almost done. We have one more thing. Get out a piece of paper right now, or a Google Doc, or something you can write or type on, and ask yourself this question. What do you care about on your deathbed? What do you care about on your deathbed? When you're, we're all gonna get to that point in life. May Allah protect us and grant us the highest level of Jannah. But when we're about to die, what do you care about? What would you care about? What would you ask yourself? How would you reflect upon your life, however many years Allah gives us? What would you ask yourself? Because I'm telling you right now, I did this exercise a couple of days ago, around a week ago, and I wrote down, at the end of my life, I would like to reflect upon the things I've accomplished, the things that I did for my afterlife. If I'm ready for the afterlife, did I do enough for the afterlife? It'll never be enough, but did I at least put in some work for the afterlife? Was I a good son, a good future father, a good future husband, a good brother, a good friend? Was I someone who contributed to this world, or did I waste it? Was I someone who contributed to my time, or did I waste it? Was I someone who used my opportunities and privileges for good? Was I someone who was able to provide for his family, beneficial to society? Was I someone who saw the best version of me before I left? Was I someone who pushed my brain, my body, like my physique, whatever? Did I maximize my self-development? Did I see the potential that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me? These are the questions that I ask myself at my deathbed, that I would reflect upon. This is what makes life worthwhile. This is what makes you have a purpose. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us a purpose. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us a purpose. The purpose is obviously to get to the afterlife. And the purpose is to worship Allah Azza wa Jal. But you can, worshiping Allah Azza wa Jal in so many ways, right? Doing the duties that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, the men are the caretakers of the woman, which then requires you to get a job, requires you to earn your rizq, requires you to become strong. You know what I'm trying to say? There's so many roles as men that we have to do, and so many roles as women they have to do. And we're different, and that's fine. But we all have things to do. So ask yourself this question. What would you care about on your deathbed? Because I'm sure you wouldn't care about staying weak. You know how? Because there's a hadith on this, I'm pretty sure. When the shuhada, the martyrs, on the day of judgment, when they see what they've been given, the Jannah, the rewards, if I'm not mistaken, I'll put it on the screen. If I'm wrong, I'll cut this bit out. But it's as if they would want to do it like 10 more times. Like they would want to become martyrs again and again and again and again. Like the pain of being a martyr and going to war and going to battle is nothing compared to the reward that the martyrs would want to do it again and again and again and again. Or something along the lines. Again, if I'm wrong, I'll cut this bit out. If I'm right, you'll see on the screen. But at the end of the day, you wouldn't be caring about whether something was painful or not. At the end of your life, you would be caring about whether I overcame it. At the end of your life, you'd realize, bro, that wasn't even that painful. You just over-exaggerated it. So I would say this is beyond just becoming productive, but this is adding meaning into your life. When you overcome the bad habits, when you stop doing the bad habits and start focusing on the good habits, when you start doing it for a bigger purpose, when you start doing it to provide for your family and loved ones, for yourself and for Allah Azza wa Jal, when you start to do it for your self-growth, that gives so much meaning that your older self, when you're on your deathbed, you'll appreciate it. You know what? At least Mahi, you tried. And I'm happy you did that. You know, Mahi, I'm happy that you didn't give in and stay a weakling. At least you tried. And at least you did your best. You gave your full efforts. So ask yourself that question. The moment you answer that question, we can move on to the third chapter. Okay, the third chapter is all about productivity. So this is when we actually do the work. This is called the execution period, okay? So we're gonna get we made your brain a little bit stronger. Obviously, it's gonna take weeks and weeks and weeks. So bear that with your brain. Like, be patient, have sabr. And also we talked about why you can't do the work in the first place and what you need to do. Number 3 is all about execution. It's all about doing the work necessary. It's all about really working at your desk, okay? Alhamdulillah, we're back. This is the next day. I decided, you know what, I have to re-record some parts of the video. And the reason why is because I just felt like I didn't put much enough effort. So I'm gonna re-record one of the most important parts, which is part number 3. Part number 3, it's the execution part. Execution phase. This is when we actually learn to sit down and do the work. We got through the main stuff. Right now it's time to sit down and do the work like how I'm doing actually right now, right? I'm doing the work. So how do we do that? Well, I'm gonna give you a couple of things that help me. I'm gonna give you a couple of things that help me, specifically how I work and in my opinion, the best ways of working. How you structure your work, what do you do when you wake up, etc. I'm gonna give you everything that I used and that helped me, okay? So number 1, this is something called 80-20 rule. 80-20 rule. I have the book here. Like, let me show you. I have the book here, right? I haven't read the book, but I know what the topic is, right? The 80-20 rule pretty much is 20% of inputs. Inputs, you know input is? It's when you do something, right? It's like when you have a function and in a math, whatever. So 20% of inputs give you 80% of the results. Bi'idhnillah, with the permission of Allah. Okay? 20%. So what that pretty much means is, for example, let's just use my example. I'm a YouTuber, right? As a YouTuber, I don't have to do much. I have to turn on the camera and I have to record. That's the only work I do as a YouTuber. And yet, with the permission of Allah Azza wa Jal, the things I've grown, most of my channel, right? You can agree with me here that just recording and uploading and editing, sure, I put effort and stuff like that, but that, with the permission of Allah, gave the results with the channel, right? Like, if I was changing my profile picture every couple of days, you would not be seeing my channel right now, or you would not be watching this video right now. It's because I recorded videos. So 20%, just 2 things: record, upload, or maybe 3 things max: record, edit, upload. These 3 things have given me most of the results, 80% of the results. Now, the other 20% you can always improve and get 100% or something, but the main goal is to focus on the 80-20 rule. Now, how do we apply this to school? School is starting for me again today. Inshallah, I have to go in a couple of hours. But pretty much with school, this is the biggest thing. I notice this so many times when the students, like most students, they study the entire day. They study for 8 hours out of the day. I studied for, I think, 1.5 hours to 2 hours per day. Maybe a little bit less than that, actually. And I ended up getting some pretty good marks last semester. Like, I got like some A minuses and stuff like that. So let me be honest with you. The idea of let me study all day, this is not correct. Unless you're a medical student or something, this is not accurate. You don't have to study all day. In fact, this is not what you need to do, and it's not good for you if you study all day. Because you're not, first of all, I'm gonna go on a rant here. Hopefully you don't mind here, bro. But this is what happens all the time when I see students. They study the entire night and they think they're being productive, right? Because they're studying so many hours. But they don't account for the quality. They don't account for the quality of work that they're doing. They're only accounting for the quantity of work they're doing. And that's the issue, because so many students, like back when I was in grade 10, I used to tell myself, oh yeah, I studied for 8 hours and I still failed the test. How come most students study for hours and they still get 50s or 60s on their midterms and their final exams? Why? Is that a coincidence? No, it's not a coincidence. It's because they think that quantity is what's needed instead of quality. For this semester, I applied the 80-20 rule. I said that, you know what? I'm only going to be studying what is going to be given to me in the test. I'm not going to be studying for 8 hours in the day. I'm going to study for 1 to 2 hours, but I'm going to be doing the hardest questions that will most likely be on my test. Alhamdulillah, qadr Allah, right? My teacher told me, my math teacher, he's a great teacher actually. He said, guys, most of your exams will be similar to the homework questions I gave you every single week. I'm like, bingo. Most of the exam is going to be similar to what I already get from the homework questions. So if I continuously just spam, like do the homework questions for 1 to 2 hours per day, and I get good at the topics, like if I just do a bunch of questions instead of reviewing, other students are reviewing, they do so many weird things. I just did the hardest work. Like the questions that everyone else avoids, I just did those for 1 to 2 hours, and I got like one of the highest marks in my midterms and my final exams. And this is coming from someone who's not smart. Guys, I'm not smart. I failed this class twice. Same class I got an A minus in. I failed it twice. You know why? Because, I didn't study. I didn't work hard. I didn't focus on the quality of work I'm doing. So next time when you have your test or something, don't think that time equals, amount of time studied equals results. No, it's how much effort you put in, how much quality of work you put in, and how much you understand. At the end of the day, look at it like this. A test is, what's the point of a test? A test is there for the teachers to see if you understand the material, not if you've studied the material, if you've understood the material, if you can apply and take different concepts that you've learned throughout the course and answer the questions. So it would be very dumb if you studied for 8 to 10 hours out of the day because you think that this is being productive. But most of the study sessions is you checking messages, WhatsApp, watching YouTube videos, changing your YouTube Nasheed playlist 5 times throughout the day, eating food, also checking TikTok and Instagram, also messaging, also taking some breaks. You're not working. This is not considered work. I'm going to tell you guys how to actually sit down and work in this module, in this part as well. Just stay patient. But this is not working, guys. Do you think this is working? Oh yeah, I'm going to sit down, get a nice cup of coffee, make it a little cute, make it everything cute, and then when the hard work comes in, oh, let me just take a little break. And then you go out, you go to the washroom, take a piss, whatever, you come home, you come back, check messages, okay, yeah. And you call that work. That is not work. Again, you know what that is? That is running away. That is running away from work. Because if you were working, you would be working. If you were working, you would be doing the questions. You would be attacking the questions. That is the hardest things. You would not be checking messages and going on Instagram and watching YouTube videos midway through. You would be working, okay? So 80-20 rule is very important. What I need you to do is whatever you're trying to focus on, maybe it's school, maybe it's YouTube, maybe it's business, whatever you're trying to do, ask yourself this question. This is a question that I learned from a YouTuber and it really helped me. If you had to do 2 tasks in the entire week, so imagine you have school, right? And you were only able to do 2 tasks in the entire week. So you couldn't do any other task, just 2 tasks. So maybe on Saturday you do 2. That's it. Like only 2 tasks in the entire week. Not even like every single day. Just on one day you do 2 tasks. What would you do? Ask yourself the question. Maybe for me, I have a math class today. I would just study the chapters. Like I would just study the question chapters. That's number 1. And maybe number 2, yeah, that's what I'll do. Literally for math, just study the question. So for me, I would do one thing. Study the question chapters. Study. And how do I study them? By answering the questions. Maybe one more thing I'll add is maybe I'll count my mistakes and try to fix my mistakes. But that's still answering questions. I would say 1. For me, it's genuinely just 1. Answer the questions. Learn, I guess 2 things. Okay, learn and answer. That's what I'll say. And how do you learn? By doing it. By going on YouTube, by going on AI, whatever. You learn by doing, right? That's for math. You can do that for every other class. So do this for all the classes that you have this semester. Or if you are a YouTuber, you already know. If you can do 2 things in the entire week, what would you do? It's simple. Make a YouTube video. Make it like record. Because this gives you the most ROI with the permission of Allah, right? If you were other, whatever field you're in. Now, sometimes it's going to require you to do more work. I understand. But for now, just make sure you figure out the 20% of tasks. The 20% of tasks that will give you most of the results. So this is an actionable step. Write down 2 things out of the entire week that you have to do that will give you the most results. Okay, with the permission of Allah, obviously. This is the 80-20 rule. Life-changing with the permission of Allah, and it's what you need to focus on. It's the things that you are typically running away from. Remember that. The work that typically most students run away from, like when it gets hard, is the task that you need to be doing. Okay? So, we're done, the 80-20 rule. We're going to move on to the second thing that absolutely changed it, which is called deep work. Okay? You might have heard of this, but I don't think most people explain deep work properly. Deep work is the ability of sitting at your desk and deliberately doing one task or having one focus for a focused amount of time without changing or without doing other things. This is what deep work is. When you're deep in a task, when you're focused on a set of questions. The way you can do deep work is like when you have a machine gun. When you have a gun and you can load it for a couple of it keeps going and then it stops. It needs to take a break. Okay, you let it cool down and then you go again. You let it cool down and then you go again. It's like this. Yeah, that's what deep work is. It's like sprints. Instead of like a marathon, it's a sprint. So for 30 minutes, 90 minutes, maybe like 60 minutes, right? So like 30 minutes, 1 hour, or 1.5 hours max, to be honest with you. You're gonna just do a sprint of work. Like you're gonna stay focused, no messages, nothing. And you're gonna get straight to that. And you're not gonna do anything else. You're not gonna change your nasheed playlist. You're not gonna change your background sounds, nothing. 30 minutes, 60 minutes, or max 90 minutes of straight work. I'm telling you, once you can master this, you can get a day's worth of work done in 1 hour. Genuinely, I'm genuinely serious. Because then you're focusing on the quality. Because now you know that you don't have much time to work. You have to focus on making the most out of the time you have to work, right? So this is the best way in my opinion. The quality is more important than the quantity. So just do 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes. That's what deep work is. So how I plan my deep work is like this, okay? I wake up and I focus on the 20% of tasks. So I now I know that, right? So for example, for me right now in this morning, it's recording YouTube videos. When I start getting schoolwork, it's also going to be schoolwork as well. And I know the 20% of my schoolwork, answering questions, understanding the material by answering more questions. Typically just answering questions for school, right? So that's for me. So then I would do them in the morning. First thing first, after my morning routine, after my adhkar, after my Quran, alhamdulillah, after Fajr, after making myself a cup of coffee and doing a morning routine, journaling, meditation, stuff like that. After doing all of that, then I'll get straight into doing my deep work. And that means I don't even know where my phone is. Okay, my phone is over there. Wallahi, like I just looked at. I didn't know where my phone was. My phone, there was no single notification. I didn't check any messages. I don't even use Instagram, so like I only post stories on there sometimes. So that's that. And yeah, no one called me. So I didn't even know where my phone was. And that's the beautiful part about it. The fact that I can wake up and I'm so focused and I don't have to check my phone or my messages or videos, nothing. That's what deep work is. When you don't need to continuously check other external sources and you can just do your work. You wake up and you do your work. You wake up and think about work. You check your routine. Like, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I have my routine over there, right? And it's always there, so I can always check it. And right now, it's deep work time. The way I practice deep work is like this. I wake up, do my morning routine, get straight to my deep work tasks. So for me, again, recording videos, maybe inshallah, like later in the week, it'll be doing schoolwork and homework and stuff like that. And that's it. That's my deep work for the day. That's my deep work done, right? I didn't check my phone. In the later parts of this video, you're gonna see like a part where I talked about all of that, where how you can set up your phone in your environment. So just watch the entire video because I'll show you how you can set up your phone in your environment so you don't get distracted by stuff like this, right? So that's that. That's how you do deep work. I'm only focusing on you right now. I'm only making a video for you. I'm not focusing on other parts. Am I checking messages? No. Am I checking YouTube videos? No. I'm focusing on you. When I finish this, I can take a little bit of break. I'm gonna come back when I do my next task. I'm gonna focus on you again, right? I'm gonna focus on something else, but I'm gonna do one thing at a time. So I don't check messages. I don't check YouTube notifications. I don't even go on YouTube, the website. I don't check Instagram, Snapchat, whatever you guys use, WhatsApp. I don't check any of that because I'm gonna explain why. Number 3, this is what you call task switching. Task switching is by far the biggest killer of productivity. This is the reason why you find it very hard to focus on a task. Number 1, because our brains are weaker from all the scrolling that we've been doing for all these years. But number 2 is because your brain literally does not know how to focus because you haven't trained it. The entire point of deep work, it's so beautiful because you train your focus. You train your attention span. And that's why it's difficult, but that's what you need to go through. Remember the storm. So one thing I do recommend before I talk about task switching is when I first started my self-improvement journey 3 years ago, what I did was I had like a Notion, like a page where I documented my deep work. So for the first at least month or something, I was writing down. So after every single deep work session, I would write down like a little bit of data. Like, oh, today felt great. I wrote this many words in this many minutes. So I think, for example, I wrote 300 words in 30 minutes. Oh my God, this is great. Oh, I made sure to not listen to any background noise or anything. So I did like a data and I kept track of my deep work hours. And if you can, try this, at least for the first few weeks or first month, try this. When you just write down data, every single deep work session, you write down some data. Like, so today felt great. Or today didn't feel that good because I was checking Instagram or something. Make sure you check the data every single time because it really helps you keep track of your deep work hours. and it lets you know, okay, like this is the reason why I'm not focusing. It's because I check Instagram all the time, or I check notifications, or I watch a YouTube video in the morning, which you should not be doing, by the way. I don't do that, right? The reason why is because of task switching. So this is what I'm talking about now, right? 20 to 23 minutes of your focus gets lost every single time you context switch. So for example, let's just say I'm doing homework and all of a sudden I go to check messages. You know how like that seems like it's not a big deal? I'm sure you've been doing that for a while. I'm sure you've been checking WhatsApp. You've been doing that. Do you realize scientific evidence? I don't like to talk about scientific evidence, but scientific evidence, because I like to speak about my own like journey, but scientific evidence says 23 minutes of your focus gets lost, or 20 minutes of your focus gets lost when you task switch. That means I'm working on my school, or I'm working on YouTube, and I suddenly decide to open my phone and check my messages to respond to a message. Even though that seems like such a small thing, my focus left me. At least for the next 20 minutes, my brain needs some time to come back. Like this is, imagine if you've been continuously doing that. Imagine you go from video to video. That's one context switch. Scroll to scroll, context switch. You eat, and then you go on TikTok, and you go on Instagram, and then you start to do your homework, and then like you're just doing like this is your focus. Instead of like one line, it's like that's your focus right now. So keep adding the 20 to 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. This is why when you work, by the way, it feels like there's a block. It feels like when you're working, you just can't get into it. It feels like, oh man, why am I not just getting into the work? Why does it feel like so much friction? Why does it feel so hard? That's the reason why. Because your brain cannot focus. It's like this. This is why you feel like this friction when you're doing your studies. Okay, so we got done task switching. You realize you should not be doing that. Just copy my protocol. I wake up in the morning. I do a quick morning routine. Just copy my morning routine if you want to. I wake up at 6 a.m. Alhamdulillah. I go straight into the bathroom, take a shower, piss, and then I make wudu, and then obviously pray, read 2 pages of Quran, get straight into journaling, and then I do some like just breathing exercises. I don't know. I just want to stay focused. I don't know. And after that, boom, I'm done. I do my morning azkar as well, alhamdulillah, and then I get straight into my work. If you can do that, that would be amazing. And you're going to feel amazing. You're going to feel amazing because remember, as we talked about making your brain stronger, the morning routine will make your brain stronger because it's going to be training your brain for delayed gratification. Like it will feel good when you write some things down. When you don't have much stimulation in your life, you'll just genuinely, you can ask my friends this if you want to. Life will just feel fun because you don't need external stuff to keep you happy. Just living, just existing, sometimes you'll just start smiling randomly. I swear to Allah, like wallahi. So stop consuming and you'll see how fun life is. Just copy my protocol. Genuinely just copy that same protocol and you'll be good. Okay? Now when you do your deep work, again, copy my protocol. Don't check messages. Don't check any notifications, nothing. Just focus on the one thing you're going to be doing. Open up your laptop, open up your iPad or your notebook or whatever. Get everything ready for 30 minutes straight. You can set a timer if you want to, or for 1 hour straight. Just do this one thing if you can. You might be asking, well, Mahi, what if I have to like check my school like classroom or the presentation or the slideshow? You can do that. Just don't context switch. So make sure you stay in the same context. So right now I'm in study mode. So now you're in study mode. Now don't go into checking messages mode. That's not good. Even if you have to ask your classmate for something, don't do that yet. Do not do that yet. Set a reminder. You know what? After I do for 1 hour of work, then I'm gonna ask my classmate for help or something. Do not message in the middle of your work. Do your work, do what you need to do. Do it for less time, 30 minutes, 25 minutes if you have to, and then ask your friend. Okay, done. So this is task switching. We got one more, which is called eat the frog. Now, you might have heard of this. A lot of like non-Muslim self-improvement YouTubers talk about this, right? What they mean is something more extreme. They say, oh, when you wake up, don't even brush your teeth. Just get to you doing your work. No, as Muslims, we pray Fajr and we brush our teeth and we clean ourselves and stuff like that, okay? What I mean by eat the frog is pretty much prioritizing your work. I don't know why, but my friend's gonna start like smiling if he's watching this. He's gonna start smiling. I continuously come across people that start studying at 6 to 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. You see why I didn't say 6, 7? Because everyone in the comments are gonna be like, oh my God. No, but I don't know why I come across so many individuals, especially in universities, that start studying at 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m. they start studying. Like, I don't even want to over exaggerate, but like why? Unless like you have like a job earlier in the day and then you have classes and stuff, like I can understand that. But most students don't. Most students, they just go to their class, eat a bunch of food, watch some TikTok, play some games, and then talk to their friends, and then start studying at 9 p.m. when they've done all the garbage throughout the entire day. Remember we talked about quality? I can guarantee you most students that are studying at like late at night, it's not because you are a night owl. Please remove that belief in your head, bro. I'm your brother. I don't mean to be super rude, but please remove that head or that belief in your head. I'm a night owl. I like no, that's what you've been used to. That's all your brain knows. The reason why you are finding it hard to sleep early is because you are not used to it and you are not willing to go through the pain to get used to it. That's the only thing that you're missing. You're not a night owl. And no, you don't study late. You study early in the morning when your brain is the most fresh, when your brain has the most energy, and when you can use your brain's energy for the hardest of tasks. The Prophet ﷺ said something along the lines of, there's barakah in the morning. There is blessing in the morning. Seek Allah's bounty in the morning. As Allah says many times in the Quran, Allah created the night for rest and the morning for His servants to seek Allah's bounty. Islamically backed, biologically backed. You can't argue with me, bro. Don't argue with me. Just wake up early and do your work earlier in the day. And if you say, oh, you have classes in the morning, I can't do that. Wake up earlier. I know that's the part. It's difficult. I understand. Like you might be like, oh, that's so hard. That's the point. But it's definitely possible. There's many other human beings. Even I used to wake up earlier than 6 a.m. Now, here's one thing I'll say. If you do have classes in the morning and you don't want to wake up at 4 a.m., okay, what you should do is after your classes are done, find a quiet space in your school or your campus or a library and do one deep work or two deep work blocks there. So that could be like two 60-minute blocks or two 90-minute blocks if you have more time, or just one 90-minute block, if that makes sense. So after your class ends, don't go to your friends. I wouldn't even say don't even go eat anything. Just go straight to doing your work. Finish that, and then go chill with your friends and go eat and have fun. Okay? That's what I would say for the prioritizing your work. Like I don't believe, I still can't figure it out. Most people, they want to get good marks in school and yet like they can't even prioritize their work. Like they work at 9 p.m. Like what do you, right? It's time to leave the coping mechanisms behind. It's time to stop being a kid. Oh, I just want to have fun. No. Let's get to doing our work, okay? That's what I'll say when it comes to the execution. Now we're gonna move on to the next chapter. I love you guys, and hopefully you enjoy the rest of the guide. Okay, section 4, we're gonna be doing something together. So grab a piece of paper, I'll recommend grab a piece of paper. I don't think you can really do this on a computer. All right, if you have an iPad, maybe with a pen, you can do this, or on your whiteboard or something. But grab a piece of paper because we're gonna be doing something together. Okay, I want you to draw this. I'm gonna put it on the screen right now. I want you to draw and copy exactly what this is. Okay, so you wrote it down? Okay, done. So once you have this down, what you have to do is then, I'm gonna tell you exactly what to do. So let me first explain. Quadrant 1, okay, you see quadrant 1? This is your most important tasks which are urgent. So pretty much what this thing is, right? The thing I made you draw, it's how you should design your life. Yeah, how you should design your life and how you should design your day. So it's like how to actually live your day, okay? So quadrant 1 are the urgent things which have a deadline. So for example, it's school assignments, right? So these have deadlines. So that means like you have to get it done because there's a deadline to it and it's urgent. Or for example, it's a meeting or it's stuff like this, right? So quadrant 1 is the urgent stuff. So right now, maybe you have school, right? So if I were you, I would put school assignment as quadrant 1. So these are things that you have to get done. Like you have no option to. Okay, so quadrant 3, which is the one down here, it's pretty much things that are not urgent, but it's kind of important. So it's not urgent. It's not like if you do it, like if you don't do it, your life's gonna end or something like that, right? Like your school's urgent. It's more important. You know, this is your career on the line. But in a way, like quadrant 3 is like not that important, but it's also urgent in a way. So for example, like you have to go to your friend's like house, like as a hangout. Like it's kind of urgent, but it's not that important. Like compared to your school, right? So some of us, we do things in quadrant 3, which is urgent but not important. And we just kind of waste our days with things that are not that important for our future, but we just kind of do them and it's urgent. So I'm going to explain what you should be putting in quadrant 3 for now. Leave quadrant 3. Quadrant 4. See, some of my friends that are still watching till this point, they're going to start smiling. Because quadrant 4 is where me and you, at least my old self, and probably you right now, spend most of your time on. Quadrant 4 are the tasks that are not urgent and not important. What do you think that is? Yeah. Write down all the things that you do in your day-to-day basis that is not urgent and not important. I'm guessing it's probably the entire day you're doing it. And yes, I would put Islamic lectures in there if you are using it as a coping mechanism instead of actually learning. So there's a distinction. I know people are going to get like, what the heck? No, Islamic lectures are life-changing, but there's a way to do it. So quadrant 4 are all the things that you're like not urgent, not important, and you're just consuming. I'll help you out. Scrolling, Instagram, TikTok, video games, random TV shows. The things that don't improve your life, don't get you anywhere. Don't be shy. Write down everything. Write down everything. Okay? You've written that down. Okay. Once you've written that down, you notice that I skipped one. I skipped one of them. I went from quadrant 1, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4, but I didn't do quadrant 2. Quadrant 2 is what we need to live our life by. Quadrant 2 are the activities that are not urgent, but that are important. These are the activities that you do that are the same activities that, remember we did the experiment of imagine you're on your deathbed and you're thinking about your life and you're thinking about, what you spent your time on. Quadrant 2 are those activities. It's those activities that made you the best version of yourself. It's those activities that rekindled your relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal. It's those activities that help to become more knowledgeable in this deen. It's those activities that help to become stronger and more confident. It's those activities that help to become a better father, a better husband, a better son, a better brother, or the vice versa if you're sister. It's those activities that made you more learned, that allowed you to learn more, that allowed you to improve your life. None of this is urgent. I don't have to read right now, but I know if I read, my future self is going to be so much more successful with the permission of Allah. I don't have to go to the gym to survive, but I know if I go to the gym, the future version of me is going to be the best version of myself with the permission of Allah. I don't have to study early, but I study early anyways for 1 hour, 2 hours, so the future version of me doesn't have to cram for his test. Most people live in quadrant 1, or most people live in quadrant 4. Quadrant 1 are those habits, are those things you have to do that they're urgent. You have to do them. For example, it might be if you're working a job, it could be a project, or it could be, for example, if you're in university, an assignment. You have to do it. So most people, when they live their day, it's always quadrant 1 or quadrant 4. What I want you to do is I want you to try to minimize as many quadrant 1s as possible. So to have like a very small list of quadrant 1s, and then for the rest of the day, do quadrant 2 activities. Work on a business, learn, go to the gym, improve your discipline, go running, seek knowledge, learn, like whatever I mentioned. Spend time with family, spend time with friends, maybe, level up your communication skills. Maybe start looking for a potential wife, maybe. Or the opposite way. I mean, I guess women should not be going out and looking for a husband, right? You know what I'm trying to say? So these are the things that the future you on your deathbed, that's what you would be thinking about. The real habits, the real lifestyle choices, the real things that improved your life. Live your day in Q2. I can make a separate video about this if you want to. Let me know. I wish I can expand on this, but I guess if you're hesitating a little bit because you wrote down the Q4s, the useless tasks, and you're like, oh man, do I really stop? Well, let me ask you this question. You're only watching this video because you don't want to waste your life. So why are you trying to defend something that's going to waste your life? If I were you, maybe you can do one or two Q4 habits that really help you. If I were you, I would do that. Like if you like, something like a bad habit, but you kind of like it and it's not sinful or whatever, like, okay, like just choose 1 or 2 max. Obviously, if you do 0 Q4s, that's better. but if you have to choose one or two bad habits, if you want to start off slowly, okay? That's my recommendation. Okay, let's move on to number 5. Okay, number 5 is called emotional need. The reason why we don't do something is because it doesn't match our emotional needs. What I want you to understand is that when I give advice, a lot of people will get excited to see a very long video by me and they're going to be like, oh my God, this is amazing. But then when I give them advice, a lot of them will not take the advice. A lot of them will not take the advice because it doesn't match your emotional needs. We only do something when it matches our emotional needs, right? This is what another way of saying like people move through pain. You know, when Allah gives pain in someone's life, that's when they that's when they start acting. For a lot of people, when there's no pain in their life, they don't necessarily like to act. And that's why, for example, like I like to say, bad habits and the emotions that you feel are just informing you of something. And this is something that I guess no one in the space sort of talks about, which is these bad habits that you're doing are coping mechanisms, as we said, right? But in another way, they're telling you that, you know, your life could be so much better. How? For example, scrolling. When you scroll, you're only scrolling to cover up something else, right? You're only scrolling because your life is boring right now. Your life has no purpose, no excitement, no gratitude, no presence. And so the bad habit, the reason why you're doing it is because you have none of this. If you had excitement, purpose, presence, you wouldn't be doing something like scrolling. So it's almost like the opposite. For example, entertainment content. A lot of us watch entertaining videos all day. Oh, I turned a penny into $5,000. And these videos are funny, they're sometimes fun to watch, and sometimes it's nice to watch them. But if that's all you do, it shows again another information. It's an informant. It's telling you that your life isn't fun by itself, that you need to go and bore with and watch someone else have fun instead of having fun in your own life, instead of living your own day-to-day life, right? For example, video games, another big one. You feel like you're winning, you feel like you're progressing, and in real life, you're not progressing, you're not winning. Same thing. The only reason why you play that for the most part is because you're running away. In school, you're not doing good. In life, you're not doing good. You're like, maybe you're skinny fat, maybe you feel insecure for your body, but in the video game, you're like, oh wow, I'm like super jacked, so I might as well play the video game. Coping mechanism. Again, it's informing you of what you should be doing with your life. And pornography, like a big one, right? This is the biggest one. Your brain demands something. This is why it uses this habit as a coping mechanism. And this topic is way too like expansive for me to talk about right now. But these bad habits that you were doing are just informants. And so let me tell you that right now, a life of progress, delayed gratification, productivity, doing the work, all of this stuff will fulfill the needs that your body and your brain and yourself, your nafs, clearly wants. It will give you the fun, it will give you the fulfillment, it will give you the presence, it will give you progress. With the permission of Allah, it will, maybe improve your relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal. And then you realize that you don't need these bad habits to do the same thing. You don't need these bad habits to be a coping mechanism because you're actually getting the real fun. You know what I'm trying to say here? You're actually feeling fun in the real world. So you following what I'm telling you in this guide, and you're doing the good habits, and you're delaying your gratification, and you're going through the pain and discomfort, will give you that fulfillment. And it'll be so much more fun, to the point where like the other stuff isn't that much more fun. The scrolling is gonna feel weakless or useless. Useless. So yeah, don't focus on the scrolling. Don't focus on that. Focus on delayed gratification, and the scrolling and stuff like that will go away by itself, inshallah. Okay, the last part, bro. I'm so excited to, finish this off, obviously. The last one is called environment. Subhanallah. So, environment plays one of the crucial roles. Like, it plays one of the biggest roles and one of the most significant roles in someone doing a bad habit or not. But there's a reason why I made this the last topic. I want you to imagine a world with no social media, right? I want you to imagine a world where, like back in like the 50s or like the 40s or the 30s, right? There was not much social media, obviously. Like there's no social media at that time. So would you need a need? Like, would you have a need for social media, right? Would you have a need? No, right? Because it doesn't exist. Like, obviously, you still have a need to connect with other people, to be social. You have a need to, like, humans like drama, like stuff like that, right? Social media puts human emotions on steroids. Like, you wouldn't have much need to use social media because it doesn't exist, right? So in a way, you have to sort of unlink your needs to social media like as if you lived in the 30s and the 40s. You have to do that because you have to realize that it's not worth it for your mental health. It's not worth it for your future goals. And there's no need for you to do them. Because right now you're in a place in your life where you have to focus on yourself. You have to focus on self-development. So in a way, imagine yourself as someone living back in the 30s and the 40s who doesn't need to use social media. That's it. You're fine. And stop seeing a need for it. It's definitely hard. And the reason why I put environment last is because obviously environment plays a big role in what you do. Like if everyone else around you is scrolling, obviously you're more likely to scroll. If everyone around you is eating junk food, which most people are, obviously you think it's normal for you to eat junk food. But this is the idea of like breaking out of the matrix, in a way, because you are now aware. You are now aware that none of this is good for you. It's much different if you were ignorant about it, but you are now aware. So although environment will play a big role, like you don't want to have junk food inside of your house. You don't want to, preferably you don't want to have Instagram inside in your phone. But we'll get to that later on. But even then, I would rather help you focus on breaking that link between you needing that in the first place. I don't need to eat junk food. It doesn't fill any need in my life. It's only bad. And I don't even want it anymore because I'm focused on my physique. I'm focused on eating clean and operating at my highest self. That's what I'm focused on. When you're focused on your self-development, automatically a lot of these stuff will just go away anyway because you stop seeing a need for it. Obviously, it's a process. It's a process. It's not going to happen instantly, okay? But you'll stop seeing a need for it. So here's some like interesting things that I want you to do. Number one, carelessness of where your phone is. This is what I wrote down. Carelessness of where your phone is. Almost even forgetting it's there. See, alhamdulillah, I've gotten to that point where like my phone is obviously beside me, but a lot of the times I don't even know where this is. Like for like the first 6 hours of the day, it would just be downstairs, and I wouldn't even know. And my dad would call me. He's like, "Oh, by the way, Mahi, your phone was downstairs." I'm like, "Oh, damn, I didn't realize." Right? It's almost as if like I don't even care where this is. It could be beside my desk. It could be under my pillow. It could be. I don't have much need of this, and this is one of the reasons why, guys, I'm not buying a new iPhone. The reason why I don't buy a new iPhone, because I don't need it. Like, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna do the same thing. The only thing I'll do if I bought a new iPhone is use the cameras, right? But other than that, like I have a professional, like I have a camera here. So like, why do I need this, right? I don't need this anymore, right? So I kind of just, like, I don't know, I don't care where it is. So almost have this carelessness with your phone. Like obviously when you get a call, it's gonna ring and stuff like that anyways. But I don't, yeah, just iPhone, like what it is. It doesn't matter. If I had an Android, like I'll do the same thing. Like, so like I don't need this, right? So in a way, have carelessness of where your phone is. Number two, this is something very important. Turn off all of your notifications. If you have an iPhone, you get to choose. So I turned off all of my notifications. The only notification that I did allow was from my parents and from my school, because sometimes my teachers would send announcements, right? That's it. And you can literally do that. You can go on your settings right now. Here, let me try finding it. You can go on your settings, notifications. If you have an iPhone, I don't know what you can do with an Android. And then you can, first of all, turn off all previews. Turn off all previews. So when you open the phone, make sure you don't see any previews, bro. I turned off all previews, okay? So here, let me show you. Turn off all previews and just like, so you don't see the notifications, right? And turn notifications off. And also just turn them all off, except, for example, for messages, I only have my parents that are allowed to notify me. I'm pretty sure. Wait, let me check. You can also turn on Do Not Disturb. So put your phone on Do Not Disturb, and then put specifically the only people that can disturb you is your parents, which is fine. That's like, for me, I like to put like, it's my parents, I'm gonna put it for them, and also that's it. So put your phone on Do Not Disturb, and turn off all notifications. Boom, easy, right? Number three is gonna be a little bit more specific, and it's gonna be something that you haven't heard, which is called willpower training. What that pretty much is sometimes, and this is something I've done, is I still have Instagram on my phone. I still have like YouTube. I don't have the app, but I have the website. So I go on the website. So technically I still have YouTube on my phone. I still have like Instagram on my phone and stuff like that. But it's funny how I don't use it much. Like the only times I would use it for those that follow me on Instagram is when I post a story. That's it. I don't even check DMs really. And it's still on my phone though. It's pretty interesting, right? So this is one thing I've done back in the day, which has helped me a lot, which is, for example, with junk food, for example, I still have like junk food downstairs because my sister eats it, and I don't crave it. It's literally downstairs. I can get a cookie right now if I want to. I can get a cinnamon roll. It's downstairs. Like this sugary foods. I don't crave it. So this is one interesting thing that you should try because this helps you stop seeing a need, if that makes sense. Like even if I had Instagram on my phone, it's still there, but I don't see a need for it. So this is contrary to what most people tell you in this space of YouTube, which is like, oh, you want to remove all of your apps and remove all of this, which is you can do that, but this might be another really, really good tactic for you, which is have them on your phone, but just reduce the amount of time you're just using it in the first place to the point where you don't even see a need anymore for it. And it's just on your phone for the needs that it fulfills you. For example, for me, it's like posting on my stories, right? Like I would only post on my stories. I don't even go on my personal Instagram anymore. I genuinely only post on my YouTube Instagram, and I only post like announcements or like, for example, when I'm giving updates. So I don't like. So this is a cool thing you can try, which is have this willpower training where you still have like IG on your phone, but you just don't use it. You can try, inshallah, right? This could be applied with also junk food and stuff like that as well. It's just downstairs, yeah, but so what? You know, it's gonna take some time as well. Okay. Number 4, stop disrupting your future state. Some people have free time, so they go on IG. I see this all the time. They have some time, the teacher is not talking or something, and they end up just going on IG and start scrolling. Why? As we mentioned, we're trying not to cope. We're trying not to escape. We're trying to live a delayed gratification lifestyle. If you are living a delayed gratification lifestyle, why would you go to Instagram? It's so much better, and this is like a training. This is something you can do. This is something that I used to do as well. I still do it to this day. It's just more automatic, which is like, imagine if the entire room is silent, the teacher is not even talking. Most people would go on their phone, right? For me, I don't. For me, I just stay there and just look around. Genuinely, when I'm on the train, I try and I don't even check the phone on purpose. I don't check the phone on purpose to make sure that I'm not even stimulating myself. No, I'm not even gonna stimulate myself. I do this all the time, especially on the train, because most people are scrolling on the train or they're on their phone or something. For me, I purposefully look outside. Purposefully, because I realize I'm on a delayed gratification lifestyle. I do not want to disrupt my focus, my dopamine, nothing. Like, I don't want to check these apps for no reason. Mindless stuff. No, I'll just look out the window. I'm just gonna exist. And this is something that you should start doing when you go on the train or commuting to school or something. When you have the free time, don't check your phone. Look around. This is something that I've done, is with the permission of Allah, really changed a lot of stuff for me, right? The same thing with consuming videos as well. So this is something that you can definitely do, right? And number 5, have a set of clean meals you like to eat. Something that I've done as well when I was getting on self-improvement, which I had a couple of clean meals which I always like to eat. For example, ground beef, potatoes, rice, eggs, all this stuff. I liked eating like fish, for example, like salmon fish or whatever fish. I liked eating them. So I always had them ready in a way. So have a set of clean meals for you to eat. It's like your staple foods, some things that you eat most of the time. You can always change up your foods, but have like a default food. For me, it's like typically rice and beef and also chicken. So these 3 are my main. Sometimes potatoes, sometimes fish, tuna, stuff like that. Okay. And lastly, to live in blocks. So I mentioned this earlier. I hope you've already done it, but to live in blocks. Okay, blocks of your day. Reading block, learning block, deep work block, fitness block. You don't have to fill every single hour of the day, but just have the things that you can improve your life with. So this is the thing I need you to copy right now. Just do it right now. Just listen to me. Wake up, do your morning routine. Read your Quran, 2 pages. Start, do your Fajr prayer. So Fajr, 2 pages of Quran, 3 things you're grateful for. Don't consume, obviously, do not consume in the morning. Do not even check your phone in the morning. And then some morning askar, so like dhikr and stuff like that. And then after your quick morning routine, you have a block for 1 to 2 hours, which is your deep work block. After the deep work block, eat your breakfast, eat your food. After that, have a block of fitness. And then after fitness, maybe chill with your friends and whatever. The idea is, if you're on a dopamine detox, whether you have free time or not, you're not gonna go and scroll, are you? You're not gonna go and check Instagram and stuff like that, are you? Because you're on dopamine detox. You don't do that stuff anymore, right? So then you do I don't know whatever you want to do that fulfills your life, but reading, learning Islamic lectures, and then after that, eat again, chill with your friends, talk with family, watch a beneficial lecture, clean your house, and clean up your room, stuff like that. Plan your day tomorrow, and then you want to have like a night routine, which is just like planning my day for tomorrow, getting my clothes ready, and stuff like that. The book is closed. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you made it this far. Even if it's one of you, I hope you made it this far. I hope one person at least made it this far. And if you have, type something in the comments. Type I made it or something. type I made it if you made it this far. Other than that, guys, I love you so much for the sake of Allah. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully this benefited you. And I can't wait to make more videos for you guys, inshallah ta'ala. Let's keep going. Make dua for all of us. And yeah, guys, thank you so much. I don't know what else to say. I guess we're done. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Assalamu alaikum.